Hello guys, this is going to be a legendary video because I'm going to share with you how I rebuilt my strength, testosterone and got my energy sky high again in 90 days without dieting like a psycho or living in the gym using the Lost Bio method. So I suggest you get a pen and paper and note down everything I'm telling you because if you implement this, your life is going to be different. Action is the key to success. So I obviously didn't start out this way. I obviously had to figure out this method, and it took me literal years to figure it out. Because in the beginning, I tried everything but still felt like trash. I was so exhausted with all the information out there, I essentially just tried it all, and which was I was training 6 times a week, which didn't work. I was forcing down crazy routines, which didn't work. I was gorging down kilos of protein, which only left me with acne and extra toilet visits. And I ate clean. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't eat fast food, I didn't consume ultra processed food. I ate like the chicken, broccoli, rice, a lot of beans. I ate like the normal standard Western diet. I didn't eat like shit, but that didn't work. And it actually took me years to uncover what actually worked. And when I did, and when I discovered the Lost Bio method, I built lean muscle without obsessing over working out every day, without obsessing over counting calories. And my energy and libido skyrocketed because I had no morning wood when I was younger, which is absolutely crazy because I was like 16 till 20 and I didn't have a morning wood. Your testosterone should be sky high until you're like 30, and this wasn't the case, and I didn't have like a very fucked routine. It was crazy to me. So after dialing in the truth, my energy and libido skyrocketed. My gut issues disappeared and I could finally focus because I had brain fog and I couldn't be productive, and if I wanted to study on something I would be distracted within minutes. So my focus was finally restored and I finally felt that I had control of my body for the first time in years. Now, who is this for? So, if you're sick of trying hard to lose weight and gain muscle, and you know it should be working but it's not, this is for you. If you're frustrated that your libido is low, and you're not even a grandpa yet, but it still hasn't gone back, this is for you. If you're tired of feeling weak, foggy, you can't focus, and you have low energy because you keep crashing in the midday and feel tired already within hours after waking up, this is for you. If you're done tracking every single calorie like an OCD robot just to stay stuck and fear food, this is for you. If your digestion feels like a constant guessing game and TikTok trends only make it worse, this is for you. And if you're just lost in a sea of health advice out there and just want a simple, proven thing that actually works, this is for you. Now, who is this not for? If you're okay with repeating the same old habits that are keeping you stuck just because they're comfortable, this isn't for you. Because fear is keeping you stuck. And if you are not ready to change, if you're not ready to consistently beat that scared little boy in you that is keeping you stuck, you should just scroll away and look for something else. If you say you want to change but never actually take action and rather hope it will magically happen, this isn't for you. If you're just looking for the next quick fix instead of understanding the root cause and building long term change, this isn't for you. If you're too busy to prioritize your body, hormones, and mental clarity, this isn't for you. And if you're fine with waking up tired, bloated, low T every day and living your life on safe mode, never knowing what it feels like to be truly healthy, this isn't for you. Because let me tell you something, almost 50 to 70% of men out there, they live their life on 50% and have no idea what they are missing out on. And if you don't care, you should just click away and look for another video because here's going to be crazy value, and if you actually implement it, it can change your life. Now, here's the truth nobody in the health industry will tell you. You don't need detoxes, TRT, or track every part of your life to become healthy. Because let's be fair, it is such a hype now to use wearables, apps, to just essentially track every part of your life to see if you are healthy. Oh, my sleep score is almost perfect. Oh, my blood glucose is spiking. And you don't need all of these apps, you don't need all of the wearables to know if you're healthy. But most men have fallen for this modern health trap, chasing hacks, chasing distractions, while ignoring the foundations that actually matters. So you gotta stop obsessing over protein, carbs, and sugar and start eating how your biology was actually designed to thrive. You gotta forget about hacks. If your gut, hormones, and nervous systems aren't optimized, basically nothing else will work. And you have to align your training, sleep, and stress with biology, not against it. But don't worry, I'm not gonna let you fall for that bullshit again because so many people are lost, so many people are exhausted with all that information again because you don't need a spreadsheet to get healthy. You don't need to track your sleep, scan every bite, or take 27 supplements a day. You just need to dial in your biology as nature intended. And and if you want that person to be you, I'll show you exactly how you can naturally restore high testosterone even if yours have been gone for years. How you can add lean muscle while dropping stubborn fat without cardio, starvation, or obsession. How you can fix your gut energy for good so you wake up sharp, strong, and ready, and how you can do it without dedicating your life to fitness, wearables, or apps. And in case if you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I got here. So basically, when I was younger, I followed every piece of mainstream advice out there. Working out 6, 7 times a week, eating chicken, broccoli, rice, consuming all kinds of healthy snacks, the protein bars, protein powders, like everything with protein on there and which was marketed as healthy. I was consuming that. Pre-workout, mass gainers, fat loss powders. I was taking all that stuff, but it never actually worked. It left me feeling worse than it left me feeling better afterwards. And I kept searching for answers in programs, in all kinds of supplements, and very strict routines. So I essentially did the 75 hard. I was doing crazy morning routines for years where I did uh, push ups, cold showers, meditation, journaling. I did a run in the morning. Then I did an actual cold plunge in a river. And I did this for years and years and years, hoping that my health issues would just magically disappear if I was going to be more consistent. If I just did it another day, it will magically help me get rid of my issues. And I just told myself that I needed more discipline. I need to push harder. I need to do more and I need to add another habit. I need to add another supplements to this huge list of supplements I was already taking. And it wasn't until I stopped lying to myself that I finally figured out what I needed to do. And that's when I figured a simple and that's when I figured a simple biology first system anyone can follow to rebuild their gut, restore their testosterone and energy to finally look and feel like the man you're meant to be. Don't feel confused anymore and finally recover your drive and confidence back. The Lost Bio method is the system I built through years of trial and error by trying every diet, routine, workout, and supplement under the sun, hoping to build muscle, fix my gut, and restore my libido. And with a background in pharmaceutical science, I started digging deeper into what actually works for the male body at a hormonal, cellular, and lifestyle level. And now I've decided to break it all down for you so you too can get more gains in a matter of months than I did in years trying to figure this out. So you don't have to feel stuck, you don't have to feel lost again, and can finally get your confidence, drive, and focus back. Now, in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the exact A to Z method I used for myself and my clients to accomplish this. So you too can use the Lost Bio method to rebuild your body, optimize testosterone, and restore gut health the healthy way nature intended. Now, the Lost Bio method isn't just about muscles or motivation, it's about rebuilding your biology, restoring your drive, and hardwiring a lifestyle your future self will thank you for. And it consists of three phases. The first phase is the biological reset, where we are going to essentially do a complete lifestyle reset and we're going to focus on fueling your body like nature intended. We're going to adjust your training to train with purpose and doing only the essentials which will guarantee maximum results. We're going to fix your sleep so you have deep restorative sleep which actually recovers your body mentally and physically, and master stress, because nowadays everyone is constantly stressed and most people don't even notice it, but like watching screens, being connected all day, these are all things which aren't natural at all, and humans nowadays are just like so stressed on a lower level that our body inherently just can't deal with it, and we have just forgotten how big of a burden this is. So we're going to master stress and you'll just know like so many things are going to be improved. And then if we have fixed the basics, we're going to move on to phase two, primal optimization. So if the basics is down, we are going to rewire your mindset and your mission, because a very big part of feeling healthy, of feeling driven and being focused, is knowing exactly where you want to go in your life and knowing exactly how to view certain things so you won't feel stuck anymore, so you can just handle out of your identity instead of constantly walking behind and just guessing what you want to do. If your identity is clear, you know exactly where you want to go in life, and this will just help you reduce stress and just live a life you are intended to live. Now, secondly, fixing your gut is fixing your life. We're going to optimize your gut health because our gut is essentially the second brain, because it affects almost every process in our body, from hormone production to recovery to like your skin, your focus, your anxiety, like all aspects of our existence literally are affected by our gut. And if you don't have a good gut microbiome, a good healthy gut, basically all parts of your body are going to be lacking. And lastly, we're going to reclaim your testosterone to finally optimize and double your testosterone so you can finally get your drive and confidence back and make that progress in the gym you have been waiting for years. And lastly, phase three, lasting vitality. Because the most important thing here, which I learned from, which I find the most important, is that you should have a system which you can use for the rest of your life. If you can't implement this stuff and can't use it consistently for the rest of your life, it's just a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy. So the last phase, we are going to focus on how you can implement this so you won't fall back in your old habits and can still be the best version of yourself for the rest of your life. So we're going to focus on time control is life control. We're going to look at how you can manage your day-to-day life so you won't be surprised anymore. We're going to cut out the hidden toxins, because unfortunately I'm a very natural guy, but we don't live in a very natural world anymore. So there are a lot of hidden toxins which basically disrupt our hormones, wreck our gut, and just basically make our life more miserable. And we're going to automate your new identity, because you don't want to rely on willpower. You don't want to rely on motivation, on these David Goggins ass motivational videos. You want to rely on your identity. And if you have this identity very clearly in mind, it's going to be very, very easy to be consistent with your lifestyle because you are that person. And then we are going to make a 12-month alpha blueprint where we're going to nail down exactly what you're going to do the next year so you remain consistent even after the method is finished. Now, let me show you how each phase helps you take back control of your biology and your life. So you have no more gut issues, no more low libido, no more dragging through the day, just real energy, confidence, and a body you're proud of. Phase one, biological reset. We're going to strip away what's broken and rebuild your baseline from the ground up. Because so many guys, including me, are doing so many unnecessary things which are basically just preventing you from reaching the goals and achieving the things you want to achieve, just keeping you stuck, keeping you busy without actually helping you. Now, you gotta fuel like nature intended. So when I started out, I followed my cravings, I binged random healthy snacks, I ate tons of protein powder, made these huge pans of like chili con carne with black beans, chick pies, cheap beef, and it didn't help me whatsoever. I always felt bloated. I had low energy, like my energy tanked within hours after waking up, and I had no libido. And even as a young guy, that's kind of strange, right? It should be sky high, but this wasn't the case. Unless I switched to the MAD diet, the modern ancestral diet. And this diet focuses on all the foods which our ancestors could have eaten with modern knowledge. So, as an easy rule of thumb, uh, it goes like if it goes so until I switched to the modern ancestral diet. So this diet focuses on a very simple concept. Does it grow on a plant or a tree, or can you hunt it, then you can eat it? And this means that you are focusing on seasonal fruit and vegetables, because nowadays you can just buy whatever you want, right? You can go to the supermarket, you can buy avocado from Mexico, bananas from Indonesia, papaya from Cambodia. But this is just so confusing because you can just buy the world every day, and it's so difficult to determine what is healthy for you. So if you focus on what our ancestors could have done at their day and age, they could have only eaten seasonal fruit and vegetables. So just go to your supermarket, go to your local farmers market and buy only seasonal fruit and vegetables. And then focus on eating nose to tail. So nowadays people are only eating like the very pretty parts, like a steak, chicken fillet, without any ugly parts on there. But we want to eat the ugly parts. We want to eat the most nutrient dense parts of the animal. We are talking about bone marrow, liver, heart, kidneys. These are the parts of the animal body which are going to fuel your gains and are going to make a huge difference in your progress. And once I did this, I had, first of all, no more decision fatigue. I didn't feel exhausted anymore by all that information on nutrition anymore, because I just looked at what nature already provided us with. I didn't have to rely on these crazy protein shakes anymore to make gains, and my recovery actually skyrocketed. Physically and mentally, I made huge gains with just adjusting this diet. You gotta train with purpose. In the above picture, I was training 6, 7 times a week, including cardio, and I was always sore. I was sore for days, right? I made no progress, and I was basically running on stress, running on discipline, always pushing myself. You gotta go harder now, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. My body had never heard of rest days, and I just didn't recover whatsoever. And I implemented the Apex method, which is a method which focuses on only the most efficient working out methods, which is combining calisthenics with bodybuilding, doing high intensity training, which can include sprint training, boxing, MMA. And if you do this, for example, 3 to 4 times a week, short effective sessions, you'll get stronger and leaner within no time. And once I did this, training became simple, fun, and finally worked again. And I made this crazy progress in a matter of months instead of years. Thirdly, you're going to restore your sleep. Because what I used to do, I used to stay up late, glued to screens, doom scrolling, watching Netflix, all kind of things, and I couldn't shut off. My brain was running in bed. I was just laying in bed and I just couldn't sleep. And this like fucks with your sleep quality like crazy. So I always woke up tired, foggy, unmotivated, because I was doom scrolling the night before and I already started off late. And I used my phone as an alarm clock, so I woke up using my phone again, doom scrolling again for 30 minutes in the morning, already starting my day with a loss. So once I fixed this, I synced my sleep with the sun, not a screen. So I essentially removed my phone from my room. I bought like an old ass alarm clock, placed it at the other side of the room, and the first thing I did to like restore my sleep quality is moving my ass outside like immediately after waking up. So if you want to do one thing is after waking up, just go for a short walk, expose yourself to sun. And if you do this 3 days in a row, you basically reset your circadian rhythm and your sleep quality is going to be massively improved. And once I consistently did this, when I consistently removed screens and made sure I was exposing myself to morning sun, I finally felt alive in the morning again for the first time in years. I finally woke up energized and ready, and sleep essentially just turned in a superpower for my performance and for my recovery instead of being a burden, instead of being this annoying thing which I couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out like the one thing every human did, but now I finally did. So, and lastly, you gotta master your stress because nowadays everyone is constantly stressed and you don't even notice it. It's like a silent killer because I constantly felt that I was with war with myself every day. I had no clarity. I constantly tried to fight stress with more caffeine, with more control, with doing more, with more discipline. I was never at peace and I just had no clarity. I had no mental clarity, constant brain fog. I was always running behind, chasing, and I didn't know what calmness felt like because stress was just so normalized for me. And until I learned to finally regulate my nervous system through nature, I finally found calmness and I operate with clarity now, not chaos. So, the one thing you want to do for this is exposing yourself to nature. Ask yourself the following question: when was the last time you truly did nothing? It's probably been a while, right? So, for the most important part here is just go for a walk in nature at least once a week. And then I don't mean your city park. I mean go to a proper like a proper forest and just spend the afternoon there. Just you, yourself and your thoughts. No phone, no music, no podcast. And if you do that for an extended period of time, you finally get your clarity back and you can finally start like acting out of confidence instead of chaos and panic. Now, phase two, primal optimization. You gotta dial in your internal systems to finally feel strong, clear, and in control. So, we're gonna start off rewiring your mindset and mission because if you handle out of your identity, it's basically very easy to be consistent with your healthy lifestyle. So, we're going to use the identity lock method, which is made up of 5 things. We're going to start with doing shadow work where we're going to uncover the hidden fears that is keeping you stuck. This is going to be different for anyone, but you probably know what these are. So in my case, it was that I was essentially afraid of becoming the healthiest, successful version of myself. I'd rather just stay unhealthy. I'd rather stay unconfident, not ambitious, not having a very outspoken opinion. I'd rather just be fearful. And I uncovered this fear and I just thought, fuck it, we're not going to do it anymore. So, first step is uncovering the hidden things, the hidden fears that are preventing you from taking action, preventing you from becoming the best version of yourself. Then we're going to do Odyssey mapping. We're going to visualize 3 possible futures and choose the one worthy of becoming. So the first option is going to be mapping a future in 5 years, which you are going to do when you do not change anything now. Then the second one is where you do a 180. And the third one is where you have unlimited money, time, energy. So the craziest idea, you can just execute it. So we're going to map three possible futures and then choose the one which basically sounds the best. And then we're going to merge this purpose with your future self mission. So, the most important part is that you find something you are passionate about and you can work on, like without feeling the need to push and to use discipline. And it should become natural, it should become easy to work on something you're passionate about. So, we're going to use the Ikigai framework to find out this passion, and we're going to look at how the things which you are naturally good at, things you can study for hours, let's say documentaries, science, like anything you are very interested in already inherently, things you're already doing on a day to day basis, like your hobbies, and something you could get paid for or the world needs. And if we find something which is overlapping with all of these four things, you found your ikigai and you found something you can chase as your purpose. And then lastly, you gotta face your resistance daily and become anti-fragile. So we gotta target the fear we uncovered in the shadow work, because the only way to make progress in your life is doing something every day which basically challenges your inner bitch, your inner voice. You gotta do something every day to kind of train your discipline. And afterwards, yeah, you don't need 10 routines. You just need one identity. And we'll use identity stacking to make this easy for you. And all of this is very important because now you have identified the future version of yourself you want to be. And if you just visualize this version every morning, it is so much easier to be consistent, to do something sustainably in the long term than making a huge list of random habits. Like if you visualize the future version of yourself and then think back, okay, what would this version of me do every day? And just do that, you're set. Now, then fixing your gut equals fixing your life. So when I started, I didn't know my gut was alive. I just thought it was for food and like processing food and going to the toilet. I had no clue it was alive. And like in science, we would call it the second brain, because our brain controls almost everything from your mood, your gains, your hormones. Like everything is influenced by our gut microbiome. And the crazy part is, I didn't eat like the average Western person. I didn't eat like ultra processed food, microwave meals, McDonald's, but I did eat the so called healthy foods. So the whey protein, beans, chicken, broccoli, rice. I ate loads and loads and loads of that, but I still felt bloated. I was still like foggy, couldn't focus, and I was still always tired. And I obviously realized that it wasn't what I ate what is important, it is what I could absorb. So you could eat the best steak out there, but if your gut isn't working properly, you're basically just flushing it down the drain. So I rebuilt my gut with the MAD diet and lifestyle shifts. So one of the most important things you can do for your gut health is, for example, incorporating bone broth. This is such a life hack. It's so cheap and so delicious that if you want to apply anything from this presentation, it should be drinking bone broth. And obviously some lifestyle shifts, such as like only eating 2 or 3 meals per day, stop snacking, and going for a walk after every meal. Now, this resulted into me having solid shits, my skin started to clear up, and my cravings started to disappear. So I didn't crave the sugary candies, the McDonald's, the chips, like the cravings just disappeared, and I felt finally in control of my diet, of my body. And basically once my gut healed, so when I didn't experience the bloatings anymore, the acid reflux, my energy skyrocketed. My mood was way better. My skin, my recovery, and my drive all came back. And yeah, it's such a life hack. So many people overlook. Then reclaim your testosterone. So I trained hard, ate clean, but I didn't have high test. I was low test. I had no fire. I was still very insecure, anxious. I had no confidence whatsoever. I struggled with having a morning wood, low libido. And the crazy part is, I just at one point thought I was broken. It was just bad genetics. I got just bad luck, apparently. I couldn't do anything about it. And during this journey, I learned that essentially testosterone is a reflection of your biology. So if your internal systems aren't optimized, your testosterone isn't optimized either. So if you are dealing with gut issues, if your sleep isn't dialed in, if you are constantly stressed, if you still exposed to all kinds of toxins and are dealing with deficiencies in your diet, it's very, very, very logical that your testosterone is going to be very low. So I fixed this by removing all the toxins, by fixing the deficiencies and focusing on restoring instead of just eating for calories and protein. And once I did this, my energy levels recovered, my testosterone levels recovered, my libido finally got back. And as you can see, I became ripped and really, really, really ripped in a matter of months instead of years. It's actually crazy. I can still can't wrap my head around it that this essentially happened in a matter of months. And I trained for years before that. So it's actually crazy how much of a difference, like, yeah, skyrocketing your testosterone can make on making gains. Now, phase three, lasting vitality. We gotta lock in your upgraded biology and embody the high performance lifestyle that lasts. Because if you are doing something which you cannot do for the rest of your life, you're basically just wasting your time and your energy. So we want to implement this plan, this method in a way you can use it and stay healthy for the rest of your life. Now, the first part is time control equals life control. So I always was running behind. I planned nothing. I always woke up late. I was unproductive and chaotic because I just did not know how my day would look like, and I would just always react. I would react on anything. I was so scattered. My mind was so scattered. And I then implemented the clerk method. The clerk is essentially a person at a 9 to 5 job which does all the administrative tasks, which is very tidy, right? So what I used to do, what I do now religiously every week on Sunday is planning my whole week ahead. So on Sunday I'm going to sit down for, let's say, 30 minutes, and I plan every day from Monday till the next Sunday out, and I schedule my to-do list. And then I rank my to-do list based on the most important task first. So this principle is called eat the frog. So you rank your task from 1 till, let's say, 5, and you always make sure you do the most important task first. And then if you have done this, every night you're going to specifically plan tomorrow. So you're going to time block it. And if you do this, you just instantly know that you are going to build a rhythm that protects your mind, energy, and focus. And I now just command the day instead of chasing it. I feel so much more in control, and I just don't experience all of the stress anymore I used to experience. I feel that I actually am in control of my life, and that was like a very, yeah, thing which I didn't have when I was like that scattered in the beginning. And now we want to cut the hidden toxins. So unfortunately nowadays you can do everything right, but we can't solely rely anymore on nature and biology because our world isn't that natural anymore. And I never questioned any of it anymore. I never questioned what was around me. Like, I always trusted all the corporations, the government. I always trusted everything, right? I would just assume that everyone would have the best intentions with us. But unfortunately, nowadays, that is not the case. And you have to question things. You have to look at things you're using in your daily life, which maybe can even be toxic, and then remove it. So I started removing toxic inputs with high ROI. So I don't like nitpicking the small stuff, and I'm just swapping the biggest stuff. So the microplastics, personal hygiene products, cookware, like all the things which have a big ROI, I started swapping out and swapping for natural alternatives. And yeah, and now I don't just wreck my body silently, and I just know that I will stay healthy on the long term and don't give and get like random cancer build up in my body. And this is like a very important thing because our environment is so polluted nowadays that if you welcome like unnecessary toxins in your home and in your body, it's just unnecessary, and it's just like this going to tank your testosterone, it's going to tank your gut. And yeah, this is like easy thing to swap, man. So cut out the hidden toxins. And now we want to finally automate your new identity. So I used to rely on motivation, on anger, on discipline. I always used to watch these crazy videos on, yeah, you have to push harder, you have to do more. So that obviously doesn't work. I mean, it works in the moment, but it isn't sustainable in the long term whatsoever. So I would always just fall off when life got busy or when something emotional happened. Like it wasn't consistent at all, and we were just like peaks and dips, peaks and dips, and you know it just doesn't work and it isn't sustainable whatsoever. So now I built systems to make the right choice, to make the right choice the easy choice. And I run my days now on autopilot, and I don't need these motivational videos anymore. I don't need a lot of willpower anymore. I just wake up every day and I just know what I want and how I want to do it. So my identity is now just reinforced daily, and it doesn't require a lot of thinking. It just requires to be present. Now, the Lost Bio method is designed to rebuild your biology from the ground up to ensure your body looks elite, but your energy, libido, and confidence become undeniable. And you know what happened when I started working with Stein and we finally started to dial in his biology using the Lost Bio method? He felt so good that he had energy all day because he used to have brain fog, he used to have bloating, he used to be so exhausted after midday that he couldn't do the things he loved to do because he loved to longboard, right? And he wasn't able to do this for years. And within a matter of weeks, his energy recovered and he was finally able to do the things he loved then. And he wakes up naturally now. He doesn't need an alarm clock anymore. He doesn't stay in bed for hours, doom scroll. He wakes up naturally and energized, and he doubled his strength. So he used to train 7 times a week, tiring out his body, his nervous system, but he doubled his strength. And he went from being able to do zero muscle ups to now getting at least 4 muscle ups. It's actually crazy. He's training less and he doubled his strength. Now he just eats and trains because he wants to, not because he has to. And if you want to know what happened when I finally mastered all of these besides looking and feeling my best, I got my libido back. I was energized all day. Bloating, gone. Brain fog, gone. So now I build muscle effortlessly, recover fast, and feel in control of my life again. No more stressing over what's right, no more feeling behind, just finally living like the man I was meant to be. Clear, confident, and unstoppable. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. So if you are low energy, if you are feeling fatigued within hours after waking up, even after 8 hours of sleep, if you have no confidence, no drive, no motivation, you can't seem to focus for hours on your studies, on working out, on improving yourself, you are exhausted by all the information online and can't seem to get the results you want. You can't seem to find simple things that actually work to get rid of your gut issues, to finally get high testosterone, and to finally book results in the gym, to get ripped in a matter of months instead of years and are ready to look and feel elite. You're done with wasting time and want to finally build lasting results and are committed to becoming the strongest version of yourself. So the Lost Bio method will help you optimize your health, stack muscle effortlessly, so you'll burn fat and gain muscle so much easier and it will just dominate your life. My method will help you rebuild your biology so the results chase you. Your life shouldn't feel like a constant battle, a constant war. You shouldn't always push so hard to try to achieve something. The Lost Bio method will help you naturally achieve it. And if you are this person, then go to my bio and book a call. And then we'll make sure you'll get a personalized protocol so you'll get all of these things in a matter of 12 weeks. And even if you don't, then the most important thing here is that you actually implement, because so many people are constantly scrolling and consuming so much information and actually don't do anything. They just sit there and mindlessly look at information and don't implement anything. So if you have come this far, please implement things I have just taught you, because if you do, you're going to be a different man in a matter of weeks. I guarantee you that. And even if we don't work together, I mean, you can fix your life implementing the information in this presentation. So, on that note, I hope I'll see you on our side, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!